Hello everyone, this is the Unit 1 review sheet and we're going to jump right into it. Number 1, what is the solution to the equation below? Please go ahead, solve for x, list whether you think it's one solution, infinitely many, or none, and then go ahead to number 2 and actually solve the problem for x. You could do those two problems, press pause, and do them now. So we're going to review them, and here we go. So the first thing that I see is that this expression here has parentheses, and we are going to go ahead and do distributive property. 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times negative 4, which is 20. I'm going to bring everything else down, 5x plus 7. And then from this part right here, you should be able to tell what the solution is. But if you can't, you just keep on going. Remember, get the x's together. So you're going to subtract 5x. Subtract 5x. They cancel. You get negative 20 does not equal 7. You do not have x in your solution. You have negative 20 does not equal 7. This is no solution. So number 2, what is the solution to the equation below? So again, I have distributive property going on here with parentheses. I'm going to bring up my calculator, and in the calculator you do have a fraction button that you could press, and that really does help things out. You have 2/3 times 6x. 2/3 times 6 is 4. You notice I didn't even press times. I just, put 2/3 and 6, and the calculator knew that I wanted to multiply it. So I have 2 over 3, and let me just do this, times 6. Or you could just put it into parentheses, and the calculator will know also, and that's what I'll do now. 2 over 3 in parentheses times negative 9. And the calculator knows to multiply. That is a minus 6. A negative 6 equals 30. So then you go ahead and you add 6 to both sides. This cancels. 4x equals 36. And then you divide by 4 using inverse operations. X equals 9. All right, and that is numbers 1 and 2. Hopefully you have no questions on those. So number 3, John paid Planet Burger Gym a $70 membership fee plus $5 per training session. His total for the month was $180. Which equation can be used to determine how many training sessions he took for the month? Go ahead, write an equation down now. Using this information right here up on the top, do it without me doing it in front of you. Press pause and try to write the equation now. So take a look. I have most important information underlined. I have $70 membership fee. That's plus 70. I'm paying that. The $5 per training session, that's 5x. The total for the month is the total. That word total is equals, and then is 180. So I did put together my equation is 5x plus 70 equals 180. I am going to solve it. Sometimes the question will just ask for the equation, but I'm just going to solve it, just minus 70 on both sides. Remember, bring that equal sign down, and then you divide by 5 on both sides, and you should check it in your calculator even if you think you know the answer. 110 divided by 5 is 22. So x equals 22. And remember, how many training sessions did he take for the end of the month? For the month, right? So 22 training sessions. All right, and that's it for that one. Go ahead, try number 4. Try to answer number 4 now, and we'll come back with a review. Press pause. Try the problem now. So alternate interior angles. Alternate means across from. Interior means inside. All right, across from and inside the parallel lines. So we're talking about parallel lines right here and right here. All right, and the inside angles are 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you have to pick. When they're asking for alternate interior, that means they're asking for inside of the parallel lines. So you can't pick a number that's outside, like angle 1 or angle 2 or angle 7 or angle 8. You can't pick any of those angles. Those are all exterior angles outside the parallel lines. So across alternate interior angles, again, so a pair of alternate interior angles, 3, and angle 6. Which pair of angles are alternate interior angles? Obviously, there's going to be a multiple choice question, angle 3 and 6. And let's go ahead and pick the other two of 4 and 5. All right, those are two alternate interior angles. We're talking about alternate exterior. You're talking about angle 1 and 8, alternate exterior 1 and 8, and 2 and 7, alternate exterior angles. Which pair of angles are supplementary angles? We're not going to go through them all, but supplementary angles, remember, form a straight line. So I'm just going to erase this right here. Straight lines, and hopefully you're finished with this right now. I'm just going to put that there, and here we go. Pair of angles 1 and 2, straight line, 1 and 2. They look like a straight line. They add to 180 degrees. Angle 3 and angle 4. Straight lines. Angle 5 and angle 6. Angle 7 and angle 8. Now let's go this way. See this way? Straight line going down this way now. The transversal. So we're talking about 1 and 3. And right there is that half a circle, that semicircle. Angles 1 and 3. Or 2 and 4. 6 and 8 and 7, 5 and 7. So all of these are supplementary angles. So just to do something a little bit different, remember supplementary angles, one acute, one obtuse. So they have to look different. They have to look different. You can't pick two acute angles and call them supplementary. In this case, you're not going to pick two obtuse angles and call them supplementary. It has to be one obtuse and one acute. So if I say that angle 2, if I ask you, all right, which angle is supplementary to angle 2 in the bottom? Supplementary. You have to pick an angle that is, since angle 2 is obtuse, you have to pick an acute angle. So 2 and 5 are supplementary angles, even though they're not next to each other. Angle 2 and angle 5 are supplementary angles, even though they're not next to each other. So even if they're not next to each other, they could be 180 degrees. They do form a straight line, but they're just not next to each other, so you can't really tell. But I'll just take this right here. See, this is measure of angle 2. That's angle 2, and this is angle 5. And I traced them, right? If I put them together, look at that. There's a straight line. Straight lines, 180 degrees, supplementary. All right, and you could do that for any one of the other angles. So if you pick angle 1, what angle down here is supplementary to that? I'm going to put angle 1 down. You can't say another acute angle. So angle 1 and angle 6 or 7. All right, and that's it. I'm not going to go over anymore, but you get the idea. So based on the figure above, this is number 5. That's the figure above right here. Which pair of angles are corresponding angles? Corresponding, just to remind you, are in the same location. All right, they're in the same location. So if say 1 is here, that's in the upper left hand side. 5 is in the upper left hand side on the bottom. So I'll give you those two. Angle 1 and angle 5. Same location. What angle corresponds to angle 2 in the bottom part? Upper right, upper right. So here we go. We have angle 2 and angle 6 corresponding. Now we're going to move down to 3. What angle corresponds to angle 3? Angle 3 is in the lower left-hand side. Lower left-hand side, lower left-hand side in the bottom. So angle 3 and angle 7. Lower right-hand side, 4. Lower right-hand side, 8. Those are all the corresponding angles, the same location. All right, same location, and that is that. So number 6 says set up an equation and solve for x. This one is a little bit difficult, right? We're looking at this question and we're going to be like, wow. We can go ahead and set up that equation. Let's see if we can set up an equation that kind of works. So there's something going on here with the exterior. This is the exterior outside. And these are interior, but they're non-adjacent to this exterior one. All right, so you could set this up in a lot of different ways, but the easiest way is that you know the rule, the two non-adjacent interior angles, when you add them together, equal the exterior angle. The two non-adjacent interior angles, when you add them up, equals the exterior angle. So we're going to add these up. This plus this equals that. So we're going to add them up, and we're going to set the equation 4x plus 2 plus 30 is equal to 8 plus 6x. The interior angles, the sum of the two non-adjacent interior angles is equal to the exterior angle. All right, that's it. This plus this equals that. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to solve this. 4x plus 2 plus 30. You can't do anything right there except for combine like terms right here. So you have 4x plus 32 equals 8 plus 6x. Remember, you try to get the smaller over to the larger, the smaller x over to the larger x. Always get those x's together first when they're on opposite sides. This cancels. You have 32 equals 8 minus 2x. You minus 8 on both sides. This cancels. And 32 minus 8 is 24. Equals negative 2x. Sorry, that is not negative 2x. This is plus. All right. And then you divide by 2. Divide by 2. X equals 12. I'm going to put that over here. All right, so it says set up an equation and solve for x. I did, and I'm finished. I am finished. Could I substitute these in to find the missing angles? Yes, I could, but I do not have to because this is what I'm going by. Equation, solve for x. And I did, and I'm finished. All right. Go ahead, try quickly to find the measure of angle B. Angle B is right here. I'll wait right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, that's it. You should be finished. If you understand this question, you understand what angles, the types of angles these are. What types of angles are these? What's the relationship between 90 degrees and B? If you said vertical, you are correct. Vertical angles. And vertical angles are congruent. So I kind of noticed something, that vertical angles always come to the shape of a V. They meet at that V. There's one V, and there's an upside down V. And right here, it's called the vertex, right? But they meet right at the vertex. If they meet at a vertex, that's the tip of the V. This is the V, and this is the V. Those are vertical angles, and they are congruent. If you said angle B is 90 degrees, and you're going to put that on the line, you are correct. Let's move on to the next problem. Number 8, Great Hills Swim Club charges a yearly fee. Let me underline yearly fee of $80 plus $15 per month. Hillside, and I'm going to do this with a different color. It charges a yearly fee of $40 plus $20 per month. After how many months is the cost the same? Go ahead, try this problem, press pause now. Okay, so what we do is that we're setting up two companies, or two swim clubs in this case. We have Great Hills Swim Club, and we also have Hillside Swim Club. And we're going to make a little bit of a chart. We're going to put Great Hills Swim Club on the left side and Hillside Swim Club on the right, and we are going to make expressions for each one. So let's start with Great Hills. We have 80 plus 15 per month. That's easy enough. I'm going to put 80 plus 15 per month. Hillside Swim Club charges a yearly fee of 40 plus 20 per month. So I'm just going to write that down, 40 plus 20 per month. You have to see how many months the cost is the same. Well, in the same in math is equals, so I'm going to put an equal sign in the middle and solve this. So hopefully you did have a chance to do this, and this is the equation that you have. Please go ahead and solve this right now. When you solve it, remember, you have variables on opposite sides. So we have to get the smaller variable over to the larger variable, and hopefully you're doing that right now. We have minus 15m and a minus 15m. This cancels. We have 80 equals 40 plus 5m. Minus 40 on both sides. This cancels. You have 40 equals 5m, and hopefully you know to divide by 5, and m equals 8. So after how many months? 8 months. And that is basically it. So just a quick check. If we did 80 plus 15 times the 8, we got 200. And then we did 40 plus 20 times the 8. It should come out to 200. If it does, we are correct. It does. All right, so after how many months will the cost be the same? You know 8 months is correct. All right, and that is number 8. Number 9, what is the solution to the equation below? Go ahead and try it. Press pause, and we'll come back with the answers now. All right, so let's go ahead. Hopefully you did get a chance to solve that, and hopefully you are almost done. Finished with this problem, waiting for me to go over it. This is distributive property. Remember this part right here, just check your answers. This is a negative 2 times a positive 2, which is a negative 4x. That's why. Negative 2 times positive 8, which is negative 16. Just be careful with that when distributing in the negative. A lot of people do have trouble with it. So we're going to combine like terms. We are going to combine 2x and a negative 4x. So that is a negative 2x. And then we're going to combine 8 minus 16, which is a negative 8. And I'm going to bring down the equal sign and negative 6. You add 8 to both sides. This cancels. Negative 2x equals 2. And then you divide by negative 2, negative 2. And hopefully you are able to get that answer. It is negative 1, and you are finished. And that's it. Just be careful with that distributing of a negative. All right, so number 10, Maya claims that the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 4 equals the measure of angle 1, as shown below. This plus this equals this. Which equations explain why Maya's claim must be true? So go through them, see if you can pick your answer, press pause, and do the problem now. All right, so which equations explain, so let's go through. So why Maya's claim must be true. So measure of angle 1 and 2 equals 90. 1 plus 2 equals 90. No, it doesn't. Equals 180 degrees. That's out right off. Measures 1 and 2 equals 180. All right, that's good because this is 180 degrees. It's a straight line. Measure of angle 3 and 4 equal 180. No, measures of angle 3 and 4 and 2 equal 180. That is not correct. This is correct. This is not correct. I didn't even look at that one. That's out. Measure of angle 1 plus 2 equals 90. That's out. That's wrong. It's not. 1 and 2 does not equal 90. It must be D. Measure of angles 1 and 2 equals 180. And 3, 4, and 2. 3, 4, and 2 is the interior angles of all of the angles. 3 of the triangle 3, 4, and 2 equals 180 degrees. That is correct. This one is correct. This is correct. This is correct. D is your answer. Circle it. Hopefully you did. Just go through each and every single choice. All right. Which best describes the solution to, and then they give you this equation. Go ahead, give yourself a chance to do this right now, and then we'll come back and discuss it. Press pause now. So I am boxing out my like terms. I get 3x plus 2x. Since they're on the same side of the equal sign, I am just adding them, and then I'm just going to put 5x here in front, and then 7 plus 4 is 11. I have the same exact expression, on both sides. And if you have the same expression on both sides, that is infinitely many solutions. All right, so that is the answer. Remember, you have infinitely many solutions. You have the same expression on both sides. It is the same. If you did not realize that, then you would just keep on going and just do minus 5x on both sides. Minus 5x, they would both cancel. You get 11 equals 11. Infinitely many solutions. All right, number 12. Remember, so all I'm gonna give you a chance to do this right now. The measure of angle 2 is 80, so you're gonna put that directly in here. All right, and they want to find the measure of angle 1. Go ahead and do that. Press pause now. Okay, so hopefully you do have this worked down. That measure of angle 1 and 2, those angles are supplementary angles. They form a straight line. So you put 180 minus 80 on your page, and you get 100 degrees. The measure of angle 1 is 100 degrees. You are finished. So in the figure below, the measure of angle 1 is 4x plus 10. I'm going to put that down, 4x plus 10. Put it directly into the diagram. The measure of angle 8 is 2x plus 20. All right, so you have to, they're only asking for which equation can be used to solve for the missing angles. So they're asking you to pick, in this multiple choice question, they're asking you to pick I know there's no multiple choice here, but you're going to have to create the equation and then imagine there was multiple choice. So what type of equation would you use to solve for x? We're gonna press pause. We're gonna see if you get the right equation. Just write down the equation that you think that you would need to create, and then we'll go over it. Press pause now. So there's something called the crisscross method that we kind of use. We circle the one angle and then we crisscross over the 4, circle that, crisscross over the 5, circle that, crisscross over the 8, circle that. Just realize all of those angles that are crisscrossed and circled, they're all congruent to each other. They're all acute angles. You notice that this is small, this is small, this is acute, this is acute. They're all small. So that means they're equal to each other. Right? So what equation would you use for angle 1 and 8 to be used to solve for the missing angles? Well, you would put 4x plus 10. These are not supplementary angles. They're equal to each other, equals 2x plus 20. Can anybody tell me what the relationship between angle 1 and angle 8 is? The relationship between the angles? Well, they're both on the outside of the parallel lines. So that means they're exterior. If they're on the outside of the parallel lines, that means they're exterior and they're on the opposite side. So alternate exterior angles. That is the relationship between the two. That is the reason why they are congruent. If you were to solve this, you would subtract the 2x on both sides, but it doesn't. And then solve the equation. But it doesn't say to solve. It says which equation can be used to solve for. All right, go ahead and we'll take 2 at once here. Solve number 14, and then also solve number 15, and then we'll come back and review. Press pause and try the problems now. So I just wanted to come back here and just say that a lot of people, probably most students, will divide at this point. This is when you add 5 on both sides, you would get 3/4 p equals 24. So that's what I'm going to do, just to show you that you could do this directly into your calculator, and this cancels. So the way you put this into your calculator is 24 divided by, and then you press this fraction button, divided by 3/4. Really nothing else to do. And then you press enter and you get 32. So P does equal 32. Just wanted to come back and show you exactly what that is. Another way that you could do this, and the way that we really like to see students use, like the method that students use, like that we want you to use, is not just the division of 3/4, it's the multiplication of the reciprocal. But in all honesty, and when you do multiply by the reciprocal, everything cancels out. You still have to do this. 24 times 4/3, because you use the reciprocal on both sides now, and it is the same answer. So don't worry, this is your second method. This will be your first. All right, one method, that's it. Just get the answer and call it a day. All right, multiplying by the reciprocal is the way we used to say, like, all right, just multiply by the reciprocal, but you know what, the calculator does everything. It doesn't matter, just get the answer. All right, number 15, you're going to combine like terms, and I see a k here, negative 2.1k, and I see a k here. So I have negative 2.1 plus 4.5. That is 2.4, and I'm going to bring that down again, and that is a positive 2.4k plus 13 equals 25. You minus 13 on both sides. This cancels. You get 2.4k equals 12. Divide by 2.4. Divide by 2.4 using the inverse operation, and k equals, and I'm going to bring that calculator up no matter what. Just use the calculator. You have 12 divided by 2.4 is 5. Hopefully no problems on the solving. Remember, combine like terms when there are x's or variables on one side of that equal sign. Do not use inverse operations to get them together because they're already together. All right, and that is it. We're going to go on to number 16. In the diagram below, use the diagram below to answer this question. Given that triangle ABC is similar, by the way, similar is a little squiggly line like that, similar to XYZ, which is this triangle, identify the choices if the choices are true or false. Let's go through. The measure of angle Z is 65 degrees. Okay, so the one thing about similar triangles. So going over similar triangles and just reminding us right now what similar triangles are. Similar triangles are same shape, different size, right? Same shape, different size. All corresponding angles of similar triangles are congruent. They're equal to each other, right? All corresponding angles. Same location angles are equal. Doesn't matter the size. But corresponding sides of similar figures form equal ratios. Those two fractions with an equal sign in the middle, they form equal ratios if you match up the corresponding sides. So let's go ahead and knowing that we reviewed this, which is very important for this question, they're saying that the triangles are similar to each other. So let's see if measure of angle Z equals 65 degrees. The measure of angle C is 65. The corresponding angle is Z, so yes, they would be equal because these are similar figures. They're congruent. So that means this is true. Let's see if BC, and I'm going to get my highlighter out, BC over YZ. Okay, so far we're okay because we matched the corresponding sides, BC over YZ, and then BA, right, is here, over XZ. Does that match up? No, that doesn't match up. That you see exactly that they didn't match up on that second fraction. They did not match up. BA, it was supposed to be YX, and it wasn't. It was XZ. So that is false. So we're going to talk about BC over YZ again. So this is BC over YZ. BA over YX. So YX is what we needed. Take a look. That does match up. That means that is true. All right, we're going to do BC over YZ again. So that's in the yellow. Over AC. Let's see if I could twist this around. AC is this way. Over XZ. BC over YZ. AC over XZ. True. All right, and that's a similar figure question there. Go through them all. Just make sure that you're picking out the right question here, the right answers for true and false. All right, has to match up corresponding sides. Number 17, an equation is shown below. Please solve for the missing variable. Go ahead, try the problem now. Press pause, and we'll come back with an explanation. So I did change 9 over 2 to 4.5. As soon as I saw this was a decimal, I changed this. It's not necessary to. You could leave it 9 over 2. The calculator will deal with it. I just changed it because, like, look, 9 divided by 2, right? 4.5. So that's why I put that. And now I am just going to get the smaller y over. Again, not necessary to change that decimal, but I just felt it was easier for me. So, and then I would subtract the 3, knowing that I had a positive 3, using inverse operations. I'm going to go over here. This is 1.5. Change that color. 1.5y equals 1.5. Because 4.5 minus 3 is 1.5, and divide by 1.5, and obviously this answer equals 1. All right, that's number 17. One angle of an interior angle measures 47 degrees. The second interior angle measures 76. What's the measure of the third interior angle of the triangle? This is a baby question. Really, it shouldn't even be on here for an 8th grade test. But let's just take a look at a triangle right now. They said that one measures 76 degrees. So I'm just going to put this here, even though it looks like a right triangle. It's not. So I could mess with that a little bit. Actually, it's not. So I drew another triangle here because it was bothering me. All right, so 76 degrees, and say this is 47. All right, so obviously, you have to try to find the missing angle, and that's pretty easy. You know that all interior angles of a triangle, interior inside, interior angles of a triangle equal 180 degrees. All right, the sum of the interior angles of a triangle equals 180. So you take 76 plus 47. Right? So we are going to take 76 plus 47 equals 123. Then, since this is a triangle, it equals 180 degrees in total when you add up all the interior angles of a triangle. You minus that 123. 180 minus 123 equals 57. So the answer to this question, what is the measure of the third angle, is 57 degrees. All right, and that's about it for that one. Number 19, go ahead, give it a try. This is an equation with variables on both sides. Distributive property, you're distributing a negative. Be careful. Go ahead, try it. We'll come back and discuss it. Press pause now. So when you do distributive property, you have -3 times 2x is -6x, and -3 times a +1 is -3. Then you bring down the 2x straight down, the equal sign straight down, then 4x straight down, and the plus and the 3 straight down. You combine like terms, the -6x and the 2x. -6 plus 2 is -4. -3, bring it down. The equal sign, bring it down. The 4x plus 3. It looks the same, but it is not. Please do not say infinitely many solutions at this point. Remember, get the smaller x over to the larger x. You're adding 4x on both sides. They don't cancel. This one does, but that one doesn't on the right-hand side. Right, this is 8x, and right away you can see that there will be one solution here. This cancels. We have 8x equals -6. You keep on going. This is one solution. You could leave it as -6/8, which reduces to -3/4, or you could take a calculator and do -6 divided by 8 and see what you get. X equals -0.75. I want to show you that that if you put it in just this way with the calculator and you press that fraction button, it does say down, and if you press enter again, it does the same thing. So it's telling you that it needs to be simplified, and so if you wanted to simplify that, it's -3/4. All right, and also if you say, all right, -3/4, but I still don't know what to do with that because I don't have it as a decimal. If you want to get that to a decimal, you just press second function, and this right here will bring the fraction to a decimal, and then enter. All right, it's different ways. I put it in at first. I just go ahead and just put the two numbers in, -6 divided by 8, since any fraction is division, and it'll give you the answer right there. So a couple of different ways to use the calculator. Just make sure that you know how to use that calculator. Either way, the answer is -0.75. So number 20, and the last question in that multiple choice section for our test, what value for the constant k, so this is a number, all right, but then we're not giving you the number, in the equation shown below will result in an infinite number of solutions. Remember, an infinite solution would have to be the same expression on both sides. Same expression on both sides of the equal sign. So you see how this is 8x plus 18? This would have to be 8x plus 18. So what value of k can you put in here that you would distribute would make that 8x plus 18? If you put 3 in here, 3 times 4 is not 8. 3 times 4 is 12. 12x. That would not be infinitely many solutions. So what value of k would you need in here to make this an 8x, to make this an 18? If you said 2, you are correct. Because if you put 2 in there, and let me just put 2 in a different color, you do distributive property, that becomes 8x plus 18. And that is what the question is asking you to do. So k has to equal 2. All right? And that is the answer to that. I'm just going to put a small k. All right, k equals 2. So part 2 represents the open-ended part of the test, and it is most likely either the easiest part of the test because you get partial credit, or the most difficult, because if you don't know how to do the problem, then there's nothing else that you could put down. Please don't leave it blank, because you get no points for leaving anything blank. Try the problem. You never know. You get a couple of points here and there. So this might look like a very difficult problem, but it is not that bad. All right, in these triangles, side AB is congruent to side DF. Remember congruent. Congruent means, and this is the key word, congruent, AB is congruent to DF. And when I say congruent, AB, let me just get the letters going here. Okay, there we go. AB, which is this side, is congruent to DF, which is this side. Okay, that means that they are equal to each other. AB is equal to DF. All right, so if they're equal, then you're setting up an equation that AB is equal to DF. So I am going to just go ahead, AB is equal to DF. And I'm going to set up 3. Let me just move this up a little bit. 3 times 2x plus 10 is equal to 12x plus 12. They're equal to each other. Okay, so I'm going to put a line. Then I'm going to have the other part of this, that side BC is congruent to side FG. All right, so let me go BC. This side is congruent to FG. Okay, they're equal to each other. So I'm going to put that down over here. So BC is equal to FG. And I'm going to put BC's expression down. 2y plus 12 is equal to FG expression, just like that. All right, so when they say that they're equal to each other, then, or congruent, then just put them equal. And now this part right there on the bottom, you have to solve both of those equations. So go ahead and solve both of those equations, press pause, and we'll come back and review. So hopefully you are finished. We're going to do distributive property here. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 10 is 30. Equals 12x plus 12. So minus 6x on both sides, minus 6x on both sides, and this cancels. 30. You have to get those x's together, and you did, because they're on opposite sides using inverse operations. 6x plus 12. Again, now you have to get the x alone, so you're subtracting 12 on both sides, and you do have 18 equals 6x. You divide by 6 on both sides, and hopefully you did get 3. Move this down. On the other side, x equals 3. Now we have to solve for y. So let's go ahead and do that. Distributive property. I'm going to bring down the 2y plus 12 equals 4y. And then the second part of this derivative property is 2 times -3, which is -6. We have to get the y's together because they're on the opposite sides. So we're using inverse operations. The opposite of positive 2y is -2y. You have 12 equals 2y minus 6. You add 6 on both sides, trying to isolate the variable using inverse operations, and you get 18 equals 2y. Divide by 2 on both sides. Y equals 9. So the question asked you to use your equations to determine the values of x and y. Hopefully you did that. Just remember, this question is difficult to start because of this. It makes it look a little bit difficult. In these triangles, side AB is congruent to DF. So AB is congruent to DF, just like as I showed you right here. AB, this side, is congruent, equal to this side. So that's why we set them equal to each other. If you're taking a look at what we did on the bottom, we set them equal to each other because they told us they were equal. And then BC is congruent to FG. Again, in blue, we set those expressions equal to each other and then went and solved it for x and y. All right, and that's it. That's the end of the problem. You get full credit on that if you show your work. All right, number 22, One Health Club charges a sign-up fee of $70. So I'm going to highlight here important information. So I'm going to do this in green. $70 sign-up fee. That's One Health Club and $20 per month. Okay, another health club. Okay, so another one charges an $82 sign-up fee and $14 per month. For what number of months is the cost the same? So there's a lot of stuff here that we've done already. We have One Health Club here. So this is, I'm going to put number 1 health club. And here's a number 2 health club. We're going to have expressions on both sides. So One Health Club, let's talk about One Health Club. $70 sign-up fee plus how much per month? $20 per month. So I'm going to put that here. Another health club, $82 sign-up fee, $14 per month. We have to find out how many months they would cost the same. Equal sign in the middle. As soon as they want you to compare two companies, you have to think about putting one company on the left side and the other company on the right, and then if they want to compare them, you set them equal to each other and you solve. When you solve for the missing variable, you will find when they cost the same. All right, and so let's go ahead and solve for when they cost the same. We are going to solve and see this m right here and this m, we have to get them together. So I'm going to go for the smaller variable over to the larger. And the number before the variable is called the coefficient. So the smaller coefficient over to the larger coefficient. And that'll keep you in the positive. That's why we do that. So 20 minus 14 is a positive 6m. Equals 82. Now we have to get the variable alone. So we're going to subtract 70 on both sides. This cancels, 6m comes down, equals, you have 12. Divide by 6, divide by 6, m equals 2 months. So at 2 months, the cost is going to be the same between Health Club number 1 and Health Club number 2. 2 months. And that's the end of that question. All right, number 23, look at that nightmare. So it looks really difficult, but it says to show your work, go ahead, combine like terms. And just remember, we're talking about, like, when you look at this, it's like very overwhelming, right? Don't do anything about moving numbers across the equal sign until you take care of the left-hand side. Combine like terms first. Get it down to 2 terms. Then on this side, distribute. Combine like terms and then solve. Right? Moving things across. Try the problem. Go ahead. Give it your best. Press pause now. Okay, so here we go. We're going to take a look at what's going on here. I'm going to highlight this right here, and I'm going to highlight this right here. Those are called like terms that are on one side. Remember, I said don't add 12, don't do anything going across. You're never going to get anywhere. So this is negative 4.1 minus 7.4. And you press enter, you get negative 11.5x minus 12. Do you see there's 2 terms on that side? There's nothing else to do. You can't combine like terms. There are no like terms. So you can't combine terms. You're ready to go to the other side and start working on it. So obviously you see parentheses, and you know that should be a signal for distributive property. So I'm going to do negative 4. I'm going to put this 1.5x down. Negative 4 times positive x is negative 4x. And negative 4 times a negative 3 over 2. Negative 4 times a negative, and I'm going to press this with the fraction symbol, 3 over 2. I'm going to press enter. 6. Look at that. A positive 6. Negative times a negative. Positive 6. Nice. This side still needs to be worked on. Do not move anything across. All right, combine like terms. So we're going to get our highlighter out again and see this term and this term. We're going to combine those terms before we do anything else. So we have a 1.5 minus 4. Negative 2.5. So I'm going to rewrite the whole thing. Negative 11.5x minus 12 equals negative 2.5x plus 6. Here we go. Now we're ready to get the x's together. All right. So we have 2 terms on each side. We're done combining like terms. We're done with distributive property. I'm going to get the smaller coefficient, and believe it or not, the negative 11.5 is where I want to start. It's okay. You could just get the x's together. If you didn't get the 11.5 over to the negative 2.5, that's fine. I just want to stay in the positive. Getting the x's together using distributive property. So we have negative 2.5 plus 11.5. It is 9x. You minus 6 on both sides. This cancels. I'm going to bring it over here. Actually, I'm not. I lied. No, I am. No, I'm not. Wow, that was tough. Negative 18 equals 9x. Divide by 9. Divide by 9. This cancels. X equals negative 2. That is that. All right. Hopefully you did understand everything there, but the main thing is that when you're solving, just do it orderly, right? You see like terms, combine them first. Don't move things across an equal sign until you combine like terms and you get 2 terms on that one side. All right. Distributive property. once you're through with distributive property, you have three terms. Combine the like terms first. Get it like two terms on each side, then get those x's together. X equals -2. You are finished with this problem. That is a full credit problem. All right, let me get this out of the way, because you do have to put the answer on this line. X equals -2 is your answer, and that is full credit. All right, alrighty. So the last question is number 24, and you have to show your work on the left side and put the number of solutions you think it is on the right side. So show your work. All right, so we have right now two expressions set by an equal sign. We have an equation. All right, so if you don't know what this is, just go ahead and solve it. All right, so we have -5n and -5n. All right, whenever you don't know what's happening, all right, you're not sure, just go ahead and get the variables together. So this cancels and this cancels. -1 equals -1. That is infinitely many solutions. Okay, and that is the same expression on both sides. So that's how you do that. Go ahead, try the rest of them just like that, and then press pause, and then we'll come back with the answers. Press pause now. All right, take a look at the second problem. 9 minus 5x. Remember what I said. There's nothing to do there, right? But on the right side, there's a lot to do. Not a lot, but you have to combine like terms. So this is 9 minus 5x equals 7x minus 2x is 5x plus 9. Don't rush to judgment here. We have to get the x's together. So I'm going to get the smaller coefficient x over to the larger coefficient x. Okay, wait, this doesn't cancel, but this does. 9 equals 10x plus 9. Minus 9, minus 9. This cancels. So does this. But I could put 0 equals 10x. Divide by 10 on both sides. X equals 0. I shouldn't switch it around like that. I'm not going to switch it around like that. This is 0. 0 divided by 10. Right? So if you do 0 divided by anything, 0 divided by 10 is 0. So just wanted to prove that to you using the calculator. This is one solution. And that one solution is 0. All right. All right, go ahead and do the next problem. Press pause, and we'll come back with the answer. All right, another tricky problem. So we have y minus 4 equals, all right, this is distributive property. Distributive property, negative, one of the most difficult things. Think of this as like a -1 that you're distributing. So -1 times positive 4 is -4. -1 times negative, which this is positive, negative times a negative is positive. -1 times positive, sorry, -1 times a negative y is positive y. If you still don't know what the answer is, you get the y's together. Always get the y's together. So subtract y on both sides. This cancels, this cancels. Negative 4 equals negative 4. Same on both sides. That means infinitely many solutions. All right, go ahead and try the next problem that we have. Press pause and give it a try now. All right, so we have 3 terms on that left-hand side. We are going to combine like terms right here and right here. That is 12x minus 10. We're going to do distributive property on the right side. We have 4 times 3x is 12x. And we have 4 times x, which is 4x. Well, we have 2 terms on each side, but the thing is there are like terms over here. And remember, don't do anything unless you get those like terms combined. So I'm going to just bring down the 12x minus 10. And I'm going to do 12x minus 12x plus 4x, and that is 16x. I have x's on both sides, so I have to get those x's together. Minus 12x on both sides. I have to have x on one side of the equation. So I have negative 10 equals 4x. You divide by 4. X equals negative 2.5. Just remember, use that calculator. You have negative 10 divided by 4. Negative 2.5. Just making sure. All right, that is one solution. And you can tell that there is one solution when there are different x values. The coefficients of x are different. There's definitely going to be one solution. So you could have stopped right here. We would give you full credit, but we would like to see what that one solution is. And that is the one solution. Hopefully you got that right. All right. Last problem on this page, last problem on the review sheet. Go ahead, see if you can do it. Press pause now. So you know what I said in the question before. The question before I said if there are different x's, different coefficients of x, you should have one solution. You will have one solution, not should. Let's see. If this is a and this is negative 3a, I'm going to put this down as one solution right now. There are different a's, different values before a, which is the coefficient, right? So if you know that eventually you're going to get the a's on one side. Oh, wait a minute. I rushed. Look. Well, see, a minus 4a. Maybe it's not one solution. I'm going to erase it. Don't rush to judgment. Okay, so we have a minus 4a is negative 3a. Now we have that. Okay, wait, but there's nothing else on that side. And then there's negative 3a plus 11. I still don't know what that is. I should know what that is, but I don't know what that is. I have negative 3a here. I am going to try to get the a's together, which is what I normally do to solve any equation. So this cancels. So does this. If this cancels, I have to put a placeholder of 0 there. Equals 11. Does 0 equal 11? No, it does not. This cancels. Doesn't cancel. This is the not equal symbol. So 0 is not equal to 11. This is no solution. Remember, different on both sides. Different on both sides. Different expressions. Then it's no solution with the same value for x. All right. So when the coefficient is the same and the other numbers are different, it's going to be no solution. So just remember, if it's the same exact expression on both sides, it's infinitely many. When there are different values of x, different coefficients for x, or 1x value, it's one solution. And so can negative 3a ever be equal to negative 3a plus 11? No, whatever negative 3a is, it can't be equal to negative 3a and then add 11 to it. So it's definitely no solution at that point right here. All right. If you, again, do not see that, it is fine. Just remember, get the x's or a's or variables together. All right. Get those together and then you will be fine. That concludes the review sheet. Hope you got a lot out of it. See you next time.